Pokémon Champions is just a week away, but we've already gotten an early look at some of the cores and teams shaping up in the meta thanks to a custom ladder on Pokémon Showdown. I've linked the creator down below in the description, along with a link to access this pre-Champions ladder for yourself, so definitely go check it out and show them some support. There are 4 cores that I want to cover today, and early on in this format, it's looking like it might just turn into an all-out weather war. But before we jump in, just keep in mind that this custom format isn't perfect. Some Pokémon are missing, and a few abilities still aren't confirmed. That said, these cores we're covering today are all from fully confirmed Pokémon with their abilities and stats, so there's a lot that we can still learn from this. So for our first core that we're going to be looking at, we have the Pelipper and Archaludon Rain team. This is a very popular core. We saw it a lot in Scarlet and Violet with Reg H. They just complement each other so well. Pelipper has Weather Ball and Hurricane, which are stab moves into ground and fighting that Archaludon does not like to deal with. And Archaludon has a signature move called Electro Shot, which allows it to move in 1 turn rather than be charged and move in 2, and it gives it a +1 special attack on top of that. Archaludon also just resists all the common Rain team Pokemon weaknesses, like Grass, like Electric. Being a Steel Dragon type, it just makes it so dynamic. And behind them, which is usually the ace in the sleeve that makes it extraordinarily scary to play these teams, is Basculegion Male. This is a Pokemon that gets Swift Swim, which doubles its speed in the rain, and so when it's a backline and all of your Pokemon have been KO'd, it gets the move Last Respects, which gets a +50 per KO'd Pokemon, making it a lethal late game sweeper. Now, why this core is seeing so much play right now is because it doesn't require a Mega Evolution right now to even function. You need Pelipper for the rain, you have Archaludon already as a mainstay on the team to work within the rain, as well as Basculegion. So now your flexibility is through the roof of what Mega Evolution you want to use. And I've been seeing a lot, honestly. I don't want to go too hard on what you can use, because it feels like there's a lot of Pokemon that can be used. Just a couple that I've seen crop up. Mega Metagross, this one makes sense the same way that it made sense for Archaludon. Its 2 weaknesses, or at least 2 of the weaknesses, are fire and ground, which Pelipper as a rain team, and same with Basculegion, covers both of them. So Metagross likes that. Fire damage is reduced in the rain. It's just a great opportunity for a steel type to thrive, to be honest with you. Another Pokemon I saw a lot of was Mega Dragonite. Now this one, I just ragged on this one video ago, but it is, truth be told, good on rain teams thanks to Hurricane, Thunder, and it also getting access to Weather Ball. It's hard to deny that now that it's a special attacker with 145 special attack, getting 100% accurate Hurricanes is a net positive. I concede that this is absolutely a good way you can use Mega Dragonite. I think Mega Salamence still might be better just as an overall Pokemon. It might not have the same amount of special attack, but it can also use Hurricane. It's also a stab move for it. And on top of that, Dragonite also it quad resists Grass, which is a common weakness for rain teams and water type Pokemon in general, and it's neutral to Electric, so I get it. And finally, the one that I saw the most, to be honest with you, on rain teams was Megagengar. This is going to be one that we're going to see a lot with one of our later cores as well, which is the Sand team, and it's a big reason why I think these are the strongest cores. I think Rain and Sand are kind of competing for number 1 right now. Hard to say what is better. I'm probably going to say Rain is better just because it has more options right now, and the Rain weather effect is overall, in my opinion, stronger than the Sand, but I digress. Megagengar is just such an excellent teammate, especially in a format that's so dominated by weather wars, because of the ability Shadow Tag. Shadow Tag locks your opponent in, which means that you can set up the board state for what you need it to be, and whether that's switching in Pelipper and leaving Gengar on the side, and you can even run something a little bit feistier so that you can leave this out for a while. If you Protect Substitute, now you can extend Shadow Tag. You can switch Pelipper in and out as needed. You can get Archaludon in with auto setup Rain, and your opponent cannot switch out to get the weather changed back to their need. It's an overall net positive, and Mega Gengar has the weakness of ground, of course the same, but again, rain teams cover that, so that's not as horrifying. Archaludon with Body Press does cover for the dark types that Gengar does not want to deal with, and you can run Snarl for opposing ghost types if you're feeling a little bit cheeky. But yeah, this team just affords you a lot of flexibility, which I think the other teams don't have, which is why this just seems so much stronger in general. It's rampant for a good reason. Archaludon's incredible, and Basculegion is just an awesome late game sweeper, one of the best, hard to compete with, so probably the number 1 early team core. Moving on to our second core we're going to be covering is the Mega Charizard Y and Venusaur Sun team. Now this is another one where the two Pokemon, they just pair up excellently with each other. Mega Charizard Y sets the sun, Venusaur has Chlorophyll to take advantage and get double speed. It also has access to the move Sleep Powder, which allows you to disrupt your opponents. Charizard Y isn't necessarily the fastest Pokemon, so having Venusaur pretty much outspeed everything and get to use Sleep Powder on them to potentially allow Charizard to move first against faster opponents is incredible. And I've seen Wide Lens, it's just here. I didn't have that for any rhyme or reason. Focus Sash is really good too. Energy Ball also great because you can cover Charizard's rock type weakness and water type weakness, which is a net positive as well. Charizard kind of has like a million moves it can run on its own. Like you can run Weather Ball over Scorching Sands. Scorching Sands is obviously great for ground or for rock and electric types that it doesn't want to deal with. Solar Beam's great for the water types. Weather Ball is an incredible move that's 100 base power fire move, but can also be whatever opposing weather your opponent set. So that's why it gives you a little bit more diverse options, at least with their Sun teams, historically, in my opinion, are the best. And I think Scarlet Violet cemented that with the Photosynthesis mons. And I think the thing that it's missing right now in the early formats from standing out on its own is those Photosynthesis mons. I think Charizard Mega Y by itself, of course, is incredible. Like this thing can literally control a whole team by itself. It doesn't necessarily need any chlorophyll mons. Like Venusaur is nice. It's good to have there, but you don't have to run it. You could run something like Whimsicott. Whimsicott is great here with Tailwind, and that can circumvent the low speed without having to rely on Sleep Powder, basically. But once the Photosynthesis mons come, we're going to be talking about a whole different core here. Just to do a quick aside, like think about adding Walking Wake here with Hydro Steam. It gets a boosted water move in the sun. That's absurd for going against opposing, rock types. And then not only that, but it also is a water dragon type, so it quad resists water. It's neutral to grass and electric. Like water dragon is a phenomenal typing. So once you add this to this core, like this is an amazing fire, water, grass core. The Sun teams got so much better, and like that's not even to mention Fluttermane, obviously amazing. This now covers the dragon weakness. You could even throw in Gouging Fire here for a physical type that gets a fire boosted move if you wanted to. You really can't go wrong. I mean, even like if you got rid of Venusaur and we added Brute Bonnet instead, now you have Redirection, you have a water type that can hit in the sun, you have a heater of either special attacker or speed. I'm guessing you go support in this regard. Probably just go Icy Wind, and then if we just add Chi-Yu to this squadron, let's just go ahead and add Chi-Yu. Yeah. So Charizard Y Sun, in its current state, it's excellent. But the Rain team itself is so flexible right now because it doesn't rely on the Mega Evolution for the weather that Charizard does have a little bit of an uphill battle, but it's obviously still passable. I mean, I'm really not trying to discredit Sun teams right now, but I think the trajectory of what Sun teams will be in this Champions format is much higher than what we're going to see from any of the other weathers. So for now, I think the Sun core is great. I just don't think it's number one or even number two, honestly. I think number two might still have a beat. And that is the next core we are going to be covering, which is the Sand teams with Tyranitar and Excadrill. This is another classic Reg H. Honestly, even, was it prior to Reg H? I think Excadrill was already in the game in SV. We've been seeing this for a long time is all I'm trying to say. Assault Vest, very classic. Knockoff, Rock Slide, Stomping Tantrum, Low Kick. You pretty much cover everything. Excadrill gets Sand Rush, which doubles its speed. It's very generic. I think Focus Sash here is the best. One note here as well, both of these Pokemon can Mega Evolve, but I honestly don't think you need to. I think they're both good enough in base, unless you're like really desperate to have the sun or to have the sand get reset, then you could make an argument for Sandstream. But in my testing with Mega Excadrill, the damage is nice, but it doesn't seem like you need it. You're already at 135 physical attack. That's already good enough in my opinion. It does enough damage. Living with Focus Sash and getting to attack twice instead of getting dropped without Focus Sash when you're Mega Excadrill is a big game changer. I'm gonna go ahead and say I think Sand teams are probably the second best core in this format, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that it has the same flexibility as the Rain teams do, where you don't have to Mega Evolve your Sand core to take full advantage of your Sand team. One Mega Evolution in particular that I was put onto earlier today by JPTK VGC, shout out, he's a great YouTube channel, you guys should all check him out, is Megagengar. Gengar, and it's for the exact same reason that we were running it on the Rain team. It's a ghost type, so it's immune to fighting from both of these, that they're both weak to fighting, and it also just shadow tags and puts your opponent in really bad spots. And thankfully Tyranitar is a dark type, so you're able to hit the psychics and you're able to hit the ghosts that Gengar does not want to go into. The other plus side of the Sandcore in general is its positive matchups into all the other weathers. Tyranitar can resist fire and one-shot Charizard. It can hit Pelipper for super effective with Stomping Tantrum and Low Kick. You can hit Archaludon for super effective. Excadrill hits Archaludon for super effective as well with Stab Ground. Obviously Steel and Rock both hit the Snow teams for super effective. So I think Sand, as long as the weather's on your side, which is what Mega Gengar helps you do, I really think you're in a great spot. Like, it just seems so much more valuable. And if you're really worried about ground, because now the big problem here is triple weakness to ground, this is when you can start adding Pokemon like Talonflame, and you can put safety goggles on it so you don't have to worry about the sun, or you don't have to worry about the sand, and then you can have Tailwind, so now you can have Excadrill and Gengar be faster outside, and then you can also add Pokemon like Gyarados. You have obvious one, like this is a classic Reg H Pokemon, Corviknight, phenomenal. Really big fan of Corviknight on these kind of teams. Another Tailwind setter if you don't want to run Talonflame. It gets Brave Bird to take on the fighting types that you have a weakness to up here. You can run Roost. Yeah, the world's kind of your oyster. And you have Mirror Armor, which is nice because this original core is really weak to Intimidate. So having Mirror Armor to reduce that is incredible as well. And another Pokemon that is kind of nice on these teams is Sinistcha. Sinistcha is a ghost grass type that can redirect with Rage Powder. And so if somebody tries to use a fighting move or a ground move and it's single target, they will get redirected into Sinistcha, and it gives Excadrill, Tyranitar, or Gengar freedom to just like do whatever they need to do. And I think that kind of versatility that the Rain teams have, the Sand teams have, I think a little bit less, but there's still just so much upside into all the other weathers that I have to give it second place in my opinion. It's close to first, honestly. I think Sand in general is just weaker of a weather, like I was saying before, than the Rain, but I still really like it. I still think it's super good. In my opinion, right now, we're in a Rain and Sand format, but that's not to say that our fourth core isn't still good, and that is the Mega Frostlass balance teams. So now this one is a little bit less like centralized. It's more like the Sun team in the fact that you have to rely on your Mega to do the weather, but it kind of is a show all on its own. Like Mega Charizard, while I can do it on its own, Froslass can kind of do it on its own too. 140 special attack, 120 speed, you set Aurora Veil and you spam Blizzard. It's that easy, and you set up the team around you. And so on this team, we're running Kingambit and Primarina. This is the core I've been seeing. Like these three are like the new triple threat balance core, and it's for good reason, because like Froslass, its one problem is that it's almost guaranteed to be slower than Mega Gengar, unless you go against some really bulky one, and you can probably take a pretty big hit, unfortunately, which is nice because that's where Kingambit with Sucker Punch can absolutely punish any Gengar trying to attack Froslass. And then once you get up Aurora Veil, you could probably live against Mega Gengar on the next turn, but it still can't do anything while Kingambit's just spamming Sucker Punch in front of it. And then both Kingambit and Froslass are weak to fire, which is where Primarina comes in with Hyper Voice and Liquid Voice ability, making it a spread water move. So you have coverage into the fire types that you don't want to deal with the first two. Frostlass deals with the ground types that Kingambit doesn't want to deal with, and the grass types that Primarina doesn't want to deal with. On top of that, you then have Primarina with Moonblast, which hits the fighting types that Kingambit doesn't want to deal with, and the dark types that Froslass doesn't want to deal with. So these all three cover each other's weaknesses so well, and they make such great switches. Like if Primarina is going to get hit by a poison move, you switch into Kingambit. If Kingambit's going to get hit by a fighting move, you switch into Froslass. If Froslass is going to get hit by a fire move, you switch back into Primarina. It's just a perfect circular wheel of Pokemon that makes this core so dominating, and especially when you get Aurora Veil up, now all these Pokemon are naturally bulky, and they're going to get even bulkier, so they can just stick around, they can easily fight. It's just a really fun core. And to extrapolate, I've seen this team, I've seen Volcarona supports on these teams, I've seen Hisuian Arcanine as a support type on this team, I've seen Rockhead, and I've seen Intimidate. It can go either way. I'm trying to think. I've also seen actually a double snow team, which was kind of cool. They ran Alolan Ninetales and Froslass so that you could have the Mega Evolve into into Snow Warning, and you could then switch in Snow Warning as well if needed, and then it just makes it fun to spam Blizzard. Like it's kind of like how Ninetales used to do this with Articuno. Now Ninetales gets to do it with Froslass, but they both set the snow. So now both Pokemon are able to take advantage of the snow setting, which makes this core, in my opinion, very good. It's still 4th place probably to me, just because it does have such a obvious weakness to the Sun teams and Charizard, and it needs a little bit more play. Like, you need to play a little bit, like, balance is a little bit more difficult in general because you have to make some serious calls, a lot of 50-50s, a lot of well-informed Pokemon that you're bringing to each game, and that's what makes it a little tougher. But that's not to say it's not good. It's still good. I think I've seen it already peak top 15 on the ladder so far. So it's 4th place, but it's 4th place amongst a crowd of cores that are already so dang good to begin with. These 4 cores are the ones that I've been seeing the most of by far. I think they're going to continue to dominate once we actually get our hands on champions. If you liked what you watched, drop a like, comment, subscribe, hype the video. All of it helps so much, and hope you all stick around. Thank you again.